This week marks 1 year since the first COVID-19 death was reported in Georgia, and since then, 15,784 lives have been lost. The heartache is especially difficult because of the pandemic's restrictions on funerals. Tracy Amick-Peer talked with a mental health expert about the toll it's taking on people and the tips to help them grieve.
Mentally is very hard for me to get up in the mornings.
In the 6 weeks since her husband Washington died from COVID, Carmen Varnum has tried to get through her grief by joining Facebook support groups and getting counseling over Zoom. But as we mark 1 year since COVID-19 was declared a global pandemic, she says she's reminded of her loss every day when she turns on the news.
And they talk about so many lives that has been lost due to COVID. That really hits home. It really hits home.
Dr. Suvrat Bhargave says stories about COVID can be a trigger to people who've lost someone.
They see coverage of it on the news. And for some people, that brings up the grief all over again, and it feels really raw,
making a hard situation even harder.
For some people, they feel like their loved one was just a number or just a statistic. So whatever it is bringing up for you, if you know about yourself that you're being triggered, then again, give yourself permission to limit how you receive your information.
And while a shared experience like the pandemic could bring feelings of camaraderie, it could also have the opposite effect.
It is a shared experience that we've gone through. And then for some people, it's been even more difficult, like I said, more distressing because they've had their own personal loss on top of that.
Important to remember, especially as we mark 1 year.
An anniversary means a lot. For some people, an anniversary is when it kind of opens up the grieving process again. They experience a little bit more of that loss.
My life, of course, will never be the same. So I'm having to learn my new normal.
Bhargave says in these times of isolation, it's especially important for all of us to regularly reach out to those who have lost someone to offer support.